That's awesome. Okay, so for the week of January 5th, what we're looking at this week is a lot of movement from the Sun, Venus, and Mars in tandem with Jupiter. There's going to be some Cazimis, some conjunctions, and some oppositions happening. So starting it out on Tuesday the 6th, the Sun is going to be conjunct to Venus. On Wednesday the 7th, Venus will conjunct Mars. So Venus is moving quick here. On Friday the 9th, the Sun will then conjunct Mars. And then a couple hours later, Venus will oppose Jupiter. Okay. On Saturday the 10th, the Sun will oppose Jupiter. And then Mars will oppose Jupiter. And then on Sunday, the 11th, Venus will square Chiron, which then is going to lead that sort of event of more squares to Chiron happening next week. Okay, so lots of movement from our Capricorn placements. I'm going to be sharing my screen. Amber, welcome. I'm finally home, which feels so good. Finally back at the office. Vacation is over. Work is here. So thank you. It feels good to be home. All right, let's go ahead and share my screen. Also, thank you for those of you joining the live, liking and sharing my live gets the content to people who might enjoy it as well. Okay. Gonna make this a little bit bigger here. We're gonna jump here to Astro share. Cool. FYP, let's friggin' go. Oh, I just saw 11:11. I've been live on TikTok for 11 minutes, 11 seconds. That's epic. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to Tuesday the 6th. So I want you guys to keep your eye on over here. We have a lot going down with our Capricorn planets. Okay, so definitely taking a peek at your own natal chart and seeing where 1811 is. Yay, Graham. As we can see, we have a lot of freaking Capricorn stuff going down. Yeah, it's a lot. Sorry, my inner perfectionist is coming out with my camera on Twitch. Am I centered? No, guys, hold up. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. I got this. Cool. I get really... That's my Virgo rising. I'm in fact... No, I'm not in San Francisco. I just set that as the location because I don't want to dox myself. That's just... I'm on the West Coast, though. So... Oh, you were born in San Fran? Woo! I visited there last year. It's changed a lot. I mean, it's still a giant city, but I used to like, I worked in the Bay Area for a bit. Yeah. Okay. So, oh yeah, I'd say maybe don't go back to San Francisco. It's a little scary now, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about this. So again, we've got a lot of Capricorn movement, and what I want to point out to you guys before we even really like dive deep into these things is what we're seeing here is we've got a lot of planets hanging out in Capricorn, and we've got Jupiter hanging out here in Cancer. That full moon that we had in Cancer, I know I said I'd do a video on it and I didn't. I was traveling, but we had a lot coming up ultimately. And additionally, I want you guys to take note at these Capricorn placements, because as they're going to be shifting and moving, they're going to be making aspects to this Jupiter and Cancer here. And so any of these things moving around, you'll notice that they're going to follow a very similar pathway. exactly the same as what happened during Sagittarius season. We had a lot of squares happening to Saturn and Neptune. So since the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars are in the same sign, they're going to be making similar aspects as the month continues to progress. That's just the nature. It's like a giant clock in our sky. So we're specifically talking about the 6th here, because on the 6th we have Venus and the Sun conjunct. Conjunct in astrology just means that they're next to each other, and this is what we would consider a cazimi. A cazimi is when anything is conjunct the sun. It just means it's in the heart of the sun. I believe it's an Arabic word for like the heart of the sun. So just fun info for you guys. Now, cazimis, they're all so close that they're still working together, but I really like to like boil these things down and to like give you small snapshots, and then at the end I'm going to kind of wrap it all up together. And again, thank you guys for liking and sharing the live. It means so much. It's how my content gets out to people who also might enjoy this. On the 6th, Venus and the Sun are hanging out here in Capricorn, and this is just broadening that sort of energy around legacy, discipline, devotion. It's been a really delicious energy, I'm not gonna lie, for this new year. It's like finally a new year that feels like there's actual substance to work with, right? It's not like we're just grasping at straws. There's sort of this deeper substance. Yeah, exactly, Amber. And I just got chills reading that. Amber said actual movement. Like it really feels like Spirit just showed me like when your car gets stuck in the snow, there's different ways to get it out. You can put cardboard underneath the wheels in front of it, or like dirt or salt, but it's like there's this actual substance that's finally here that's allowing us traction. And so there's movement happening. And with Venus and the Sun together, this has to do with like our values, are the things that bring us pleasure. And Capricorn gets a very interesting rep because Capricorn in traditional astrology is very rigid and intense, and it's yes and. If you were here last week and the week before, I might sound like a broken record, but I like to reiterate these things because it's how we learn. And it is the fact that Capricorn is a feminine sign. It's the crone, it's the mothers, it's the grandmother's energy. And it is that of like consistency. Like I'm literally just seeing like how a family is formed, and it's through the mother. And then she becomes the grandmother, and the traditions follow her. And this is actually very interesting. I was sharing my Twitch link on my Instagram, and I forgot that I was looking at my grandmother like a couple weeks ago. She came to me in a vision, and I was looking at her birth date so I could look at her chart because I didn't have that. And when I opened it, I saw that. And when my grandmother passed, all of our family traditions stopped. Like people don't actually really and that's like the energy of Capricorn. It's the matriarch. It is this like, you think Saturn, like, you know, Saturn has that time element, that discipline element to it. But it's like, if Saturn didn't have a mom, would he be that good? That is one way to see it. Yes. But when we're looking at the energetic archetypes, and this is, for me, this is a little bit more of a personal interpretation. I would say that's a bit more of traditional astrology. And most traditional astrology is viewed from the lens of the man, because most traditional astrology was written for men, because men were astrologers and not women as much. So, water and earth signs are feminine signs or receptive signs, and fire and air are masculine signs or extroverted energy. So when you think of the polarity of a battery, you have the receptive energy that draws things in, which is water and earth. And then you have the energies that expel, which is fire and air, which is that positive side. So Capricorn gets this very turgid, and this is something that I've been nerding out on a lot, and it's going to come into play with this conversation because we have a lot of Capricorn energy this month. It's Capricorn season, and we have Venus, Mercury, and Mars here, all of the personal planets. So lots of Capricorn energy. So I feel like I'm getting to know the energy more intimately because we're having the lived experience. And what's been coming through for me a lot is the grandmothers, the archetype of storytelling. That is how we grow and evolve as people. I'm thinking of like cavemen, like drawing images and like this ability of storytelling, which usually the stories are told around the campfires by the elders. And it doesn't have to be gender specific, but I'm just bringing in the more receptive energy by naming it as female. But if I was looking at the earth signs, the way I would categorize them, Taurus is the maiden. And this goes the same way. It's the same pattern of like child, adult, elder, right? And so with the feminine signs, Taurus would be maiden, Virgo would be mother, and Capricorn would be crone. Same for the water signs. Cancer would be maiden, Scorpio would be mother, and Pisces would be crone. And so it's just kind of these reiterating cycles that we go through as people. So I love that question. And so with this being said, this sort of energy of Venus and the sun coming together, we're having this sort of illumination of our desires. Depending on where Capricorn is in your chart, what house it's falling in, it's going to be deeply personal. But there is so much focus and emphasis on this, and I'll be definitely diving into that on my newsletter of like how it's affecting you specifically. But there's more invitations that are coming in when it comes to the legacy that we want to leave behind. You know, there's a lot that's happening that's unfurling this year, even the start of this year, that's really like opening us up to more potential, more things, more long-lasting vision, which I feel like there's been a lot more emphasis being put on setting goals, setting intentions, and this Capricorn energy is really pushing that as well. Welcome, Jen. Thank you, everybody, for liking the live and sharing. I appreciate it. Yeah, specifically, this is kind of amplifying our identity around what pleasure comes from discipline. This is making me think of something that was this will be a little funny for some of you guys, but it's reminding me of something I said to my boyfriend before he was my boyfriend. And it was like in a group chat in my community where when I'm working, I get so hyper fixated and I'm like, okay, when I finish this thing, then I'll let myself go pee. And it's kind of like this energy of like discipline of like earning it, and that it's kind of fun. It's like, obviously I can go use the bathroom whenever, but it's sort of like, can I push myself? It's the same with like a workout. Can I do one more rep? Can I just push myself slightly more? A little bit more? Can I challenge myself just a little bit more and see what happens? Man, that lighting went really yellow on that camera. So like it feels really exciting, and it's almost like deriving pleasure from the discipline. So you can take that in whatever kinky context you want to, but there is this sort of energy of like, how can I derive enjoyment from day-to-day things? And what you'll find is it actually is enjoyable. It actually can have a lot of joy and fun and excitement with finally aligning yourself to a craft that takes you to where you want to go. Yeah, enjoying the mundane, Tiff. Absolutely. It's like, can I drink this tea with the most pleasure in my body? Can I do my chores and find joy in it? You know, and it really is that sort of idea of the discipline of the mind relating into our day-to-day tasks. So Venus conjunct the sun is really illuminating how our ego responds to these things, how our ego responds to devoting ourselves to, it's almost like long-term pleasure, long-term goals, long-terms. Yeah, it's possible. Lots of focus. And it's knowing that the input I'm putting in now is going to pay off in the future. It's kind of the same thing as when you're starting a new workout regimen. I remember when I first started training martial arts when I was 18, and these were muscles I had never used in my body before. And it was painful and it sucked, but then suddenly I was ripped. And I was like, oh, like, but I didn't notice it until like a year in that I had developed these muscle groups and like these things from this going 5 days a week, 2 classes a day. I get really obsessed about things. So anyways, that's this Venus Sun conjunction, and Mars is there too. Mars is hanging out, and Mars is going to be added to the story as well in a moment. So again, all these things I'm talking about this devotion and this discipline, it's going to keep coming up this week. Okay. So jumping ahead, little sip of my tea again, guys. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so bear with me. So we're going to jump ahead to the 7th. And thank you guys so much for liking and sharing the live. You guys rock. Wrote a self-introduction today. Keywords written: devotion to self. Yes, Graham. Yes. I just got chills. Yes. Yes. And I like feel it so collectively too, with the community that we're all creating over in my Discord server, the House of Celestial Magic. Like, it feels so fun to have people that are also inspired, that we're all kind of like, it's like we're all putting kindling on the fire, and it's just getting bigger and bigger, and it's like, it's exciting. Oh, headache, guys. This headache, gnarly. Gnarly. Okay, sorry. Sorry. I'm silly goofy girl. Okay, so on the 7th, a bit later in the day, so I'm going to jump ahead to hours, we're going to see the sun move across to Mars here. So we'll see the sun shift to, wow, wait, hold up. Oh, it's Venus first. I'm so sorry. I was like, wait, what? So Venus is now connecting with Mars here. And again, they're all so close together. And when I'm talking about these transits, I'm talking about the exact moment that they come into what I say is exactitude, which means they are at the exact same degree of each other. So we already feel this building, like today. Today is the 4th that I'm live right now. So it's like, we already feel this building, right? Yes, 100% Tiff. I'm going to read your message out loud for those who are watching the recap, because I'll be uploading it to YouTube. Tiff said, 2026 will be amazing. We have to hold the frequency where we are getting there. Yes. Yeah. I love exactitude. It's like exact with attitude. Yes, exactitude. Welcome, Zaki. Welcome, B and Sam. I see y'all hanging out. Welcome. Little vibe check. How's 2026 treating y'all so far? Feeling it. So, again, ooh, and I'm getting chills. I like your guys' energy. It's nice having, like, sometimes these lives, there's a lot of people in here and I can feel y'all. Welcome, Matthew. So what I'm seeing here too, so Venus is now with Mars on the 7th. And again, like I said, they're all together. So we're feeling this build up. Venus comes into conjunction with Mars. Venus is the feminine and Mars is the masculine. And so they're working hand in hand in this sign here together. My light keeps like messing with my camera for... Okay. I'm so picky when it comes to my lighting, and I'm like blushing. No worries, Amanda. I can feel you're here and you're around, and I adore you. So Venus and Mars coming together. I just literally saw Mercury's caduceus. Am I saying that right? But like the masculine and feminine coming together. And with this being in Capricorn, y'all, this energy is so fucking strong. I cannot like press this enough. This Capricorn energy is the best sort of energetic infection we can have. And infection as in it's like consuming us in a good way. So like we can feel this sort of desire to continue to climb up. I'm seeing like, you know, Capricorn is the mountain goat, but people forget that it's actually the sea goat. And my voice just cracked there like I'm going through puberty. So the sea goat, the thing about Capricorn is it can traverse land and sea. Most people don't talk about the fact that Capricorn actually has a very deep quality to actually go into, you know, the undercurrents and the emotional terrain. Like it's actually, you know, with its opposite being Cancer, it has to have this sort of knowing with intuition. And that's why I talk about Capricorn more in that feminine aspect, because it's like devotion to discipline and hard work. Oh, guys, I'm all crunchy. So Venus and Mars coming together is just like this. I'm just seeing like this one card from my alchemy deck. It's the alchemical wedding. It's like the masculine becomes feminine and the feminine becomes masculine and they become one. And it's just this merging that is coming together that is going to be very beneficial. And this isn't to say that we aren't going to have a little like hiccup moments, which always happens because we're human, but I feel like it's like finally both your, thanks for the follow, Brandy. It's like your masculine and feminine are fine. Sorry, I'm like hiccuping and burping at the same time. Keeping it real here. It's like your masculine and feminine are finally operating on the same wavelength. And they're like, finally, we can like take some movement forward. We can actually like go for it. And I heard like, get the gold. Like there is some sort of deep, ambitious energy here too, though I feel like a lot of people are being humble about it. Yeah, absolutely. I've been waiting for this Capricorn energy too. Hey, my mom's dog, hold up. I'm dog sitting and my mom's dog Jim is like trying to dig the blankets off the bed. I don't want him doing that. I don't want his dirty paws all over my couch. What else? Venus and Mercury. It's like we have, I mean, the sun, Venus, and Mercury are so close together right now that it's all just operating together. So it's like everything's on the same fucking page and it feels so good. I can't emphasize this enough. It's like, like finally, like we're like getting it. Being an Aquarius man has been the greatest blessing and curse ever. Real, Logan. Me also being an Aquarius man. I'm not actually a man, but I have heavy Aquarius placements. So I get you. Hi. Hello from Arizona. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out, liking, following, sharing my live. It gets it to other people who might enjoy this content as well. We're talking about the Astro forecast for the week ahead. Oh my gosh. I can't. How am I not supposed to curse? I need to take that off. So I'm also live on another platform, Twitch. And my boyfriend just redeemed no cursing. Can I not curse? Okay, pretend you were talking to teenagers. I actually do teach teenagers, so I can turn it off. Okay. But it's just a funny thing. It's like redeeming points to make me do funny things. Okay. So last little bit of this sort of Capricorn energy that's coming in here is like, I'm seeing like masonry as well. My spirits come through really heavily with imagery when it comes to talking about these interpretations. And I'm seeing like what's called the keystone when it comes to building an arch, like that stone that basically holds all the pressure. Like that is what you're forging right now. That is what this Capricorn energy is. It's the keystone being set into place for as this like point of, and if you don't get it just right, it's not gonna work. Okay. So just saying that there. Let's go ahead and jump to Friday. Oh, that is our, let's jump to day. Friday, which is the 9th. Okay, so Venus is leading the pack here on Friday, and we are going to be feeling this all together ultimately, because 20 degrees, 19 degrees are basically close, but I do like to just give you guys the info as is, and then we'll combine it at the end. So Venus is making an opposition to Jupiter. Jupiter has been in Cancer all year and is now retrograde, and I spoke about this retrograde on a previous live, but Jupiter retrograde in Cancer right now has us really focused on filling our own cup and not just like pouring out into other people. It really is the energy of like the Ace of Cups, in a sense of like making sure that you have a filled cup before offering it to another person. So maybe a little bit more Two of Cups energy, but Venus in Capricorn opposing this Jupiter, this is pulling us into a sort of dichotomy of like, there's a very interesting energy because Venus is how we love, right? And oppositions are challenges. It's 180 degrees. It's two opposing forces, both trying to get their will and their desires heard, right? And so in that energy, if anybody's ever been in discourse with somebody, like there's two sides. And then there is the actual truth of the situation. And it's like, can you let yourself see that, or are you playing too heavily in both sides? Because this Capricorn energy, the thing about Capricorn is it's building a long-lasting legacy, right? And when you're building a legacy, you might have to let go of some creature comforts. And this Jupiter in Cancer, you might, and this new moon kind of, or full moon that we had yesterday kind of fed into this energy too, where it's like, it's one thing to, how do I want to word this? You can't let your actions, not your actions, your emotions be how you take action. It's like the emotion happens, and if you're letting the emotion drive you all the time, you're going to choose things that soothe you, okay? That are soothing you, instead of choosing things that are going to like actually catalyze the energy, because the emotion comes through and there's almost like two tunnels, okay? There's like two tunnels, and it's like you can just like try to comfort the emotion, or you can alchemize the emotion. And that's kind of this opposition that's happening here, is there's the choice for alchemy, which is like, you don't have to completely sacrifice yourself, which is kind of that the Capricorn energy would be like, I will literally die on this cross, no pun intended, for Yeshua, who was supposedly a Capricorn. Sorry, I think that's funny. A little Christian humor there. Not to bite off more. Yeah. And so it's balance. It's more of when emotions come up, it's not, I'm hearing like, can you find a middle ground? Because this Jupiter in Cancer actually might want to be like, I just want to lay and rot in bed, which sometimes is needed. We don't always have to be moving, acting, and whatnot. But it's like, if you're doing that in excess, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay. And so there's this other side of the coin, which is the Capricorn side, which is like, I'm willing to sacrifice all of my comfort if I know that I will reach my long-term goal. If I will reach the thing that I truly like, the top of the mountain, if I get there. And the truth of the matter is it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. So how do you choose to respond to the emotions coming up? And Venus, again, has to do with our, what and how we love. And it also has to deal with our values and how we're receiving things. And so this Capricorn energy can be a little bit more like constricting and like so set on the goal that you're neglecting maybe taking a shower, like you're so deep in the work that you're like, nah, I can't shower. Or like me right now, like I have to pee really bad. So I might actually have to pause here in a second, but I'm in it. And so I'm like, do I want to break the channel or should I like go pee? Like that's like a real application of it. But so it's like, it's an in the moment answer. It's an in the moment choice. And speaking of hot, sexy Capricorns, my friend Callie is here. But genuinely, this like opposition is interesting. It's really having us see like, okay, thank you, Spirit. They showed me a rubber band, which for me is about expansion and contraction. And it's like, we have to be making sure that our needs are met first before we start building that vision, that long lasting vision. Otherwise, you'll be compromised, right? You can't really build if you have no energy, if you have no nurturing. And so it really is going to be this push and pull with that energy, this push and pull of like, am I giving too much? Am I not receiving enough? So there's going to be this pulse that's happening where you might notice your limitations and then withdraw. Or you might notice that you need to push past those perceived limitations so you can actually grow and get uncomfortable. It's reminded me of one of my favorite books that I had to read to become an embodiment practitioner. And it's called The Big Leap. And it's like, this transit that's happening here with this opposition to Jupiter, it's challenging your zone of genius is what this person talks about, which is just outside of your comfort zone. And it's like, can you balance that line just enough to like grow, but not like completely decimate yourself, right? Because all this Capricorn energy can be kind of decimating. Like you're like, well, fuck my feelings, fuck all of it, I'm just gonna go for it. And then you get compromised because God will humble you. So I don't think I did the no cursing. I'm sorry, I get passionate. On this day, also, we have the Sun and Mars are conjunct, so a Mars cazimi. So cazimis, again, are when a planet is conjunct the Sun. And this is just amplifying this energy to just go for gold, to just achieve and create. It's like, I feel like a lot of you have so many, and this is just so perfect for 2026 and this energy that, like I said at the beginning of this live stream, and if you missed it, don't worry, it'll be uploaded to YouTube. You can catch up. But there's sort of this push of like, oh my gosh, I'm hearing The Climb by Miley Cyrus. I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but that one. And my voice, I'm getting sick, so I sound like a 12-year-old. But it's kind of like, I feel like you feel so close to something that you're like, if I just push a little harder, I'll get it. But you're so focused too far ahead of you that you're not noticing that you're literally standing on the edge of the cliff. You need to pause and build a bridge. Now I'm hearing that like joke of like, just build a bridge and get over it. So maybe there's some pettiness happening in your life too. And I'm going to pause there for a second. How's everybody feeling? I see a good chunk of you guys have been liking and sharing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. 377. This is weird, but I've been looking for a bookshelf. This or this? This? I got this on Amazon back in 2020. Yeah, 2020. But that was when there was like a furniture shortage. Remember that, guys? Yeah, I doubt it's on Amazon anymore. It was probably one of those people that like, you know, one of those quick sellers kind of thing. Yeah. Feeling good. Felt a little called out. Hey, if we can let ourselves be called out, I think we're doing good. And like just being able to like alchemize that. Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome, Rachel. Yeah, the sun and Mars together here on the 9th really feels that like I can just feel like a bit of frustration happening with like your visions taking a lot longer. This is just the nature of cardinal energy. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Cardinal energy is that of a quick spark. This is about discipline, guys. Like, I think it's so fucking funny that Capricorn is ruled modernly by Saturn, because Capricorn is a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs are very quick to just, I want things to happen immediately. What do you mean? Like, I just, you know, submitted my business license and my business doesn't have 10 million followers, or I don't have $10 million in my bank account, but I did the thing. It's like, no, there has to be like day-to-day discipline. And so I can feel that frustration with the sun and Mars here together too. So there's so many like things happening at this time of just like a lot of, I feel like it's a good excavation though of limitations around like, what does it mean to achieve something? What are your stories about achievement? What are your stories about discipline? Yeah. So then jumping ahead, hi Bobby. On Saturday, the 10th, both the sun and Mars are now opposing Jupiter. They're both creating this opposition here too. So again, similar to what I said about this Venus opposition, guys, like this is really testing our capacity for nurturing and discipline. The reason that Capricorn and Cancer are sister signs is they balance each other out ultimately, but both can be so rigid in how that looks, right? If Cancer could just like literally sit at home all day, they would. And Capricorn wants to be out in the world building a vision that lasts beyond just their lifetime. So it's like, how can we have both? How can we find that mid ground? How can we merge those together? And it's by having both. It's by allowing yourself to have that recouping time of being alone, being in your safe space, and then pushing yourself out. So my son's a Cancer, it's true. He never wants to go anywhere. Yeah. And you know, actually, Rachel, I have readings for like parent-child dynamics, if that's something that you're interested in, and like understanding your son more, because that's one of my deepest desires. Is I remember my mom sat with me when I got my first natal chart reading when I was 15, which set me on this course that I'm at now. Shout out to my mom. But she got to see me in an entirely new light, and it shifted her way of parenting me. And it was amazing. And like the Cancerian energy gets a bad rep because yeah, they are homebodies. They're the 4th house. It is about sanctuary and safety and but they are deeply loyal. And they are like deeply like when you're in like their sanctuary, you're in for life. It's really, really beautiful, actually. And, you know, I think we have, especially for men, Cancer men, like we have this sort of idea that they're supposed to be like this, you know, the opposite, which is this Capricorn energy out in the world. They're that, I'm hearing like, what is it? 6'5", blue eyes, accounting kind of people. And it's like, but we have so many different archetypes in our astrological story, as we can see here. So, yeah, Cancers definitely are home bodies, but they create the vibe for it. So again, with this dynamic, so Jupiter hanging out here in Cancer has, again, reiterating that retrograde is really pulling us into making sure we're filling up our cup and like not sacrificing ourselves. But all this Capricorn energy, guys, really, really wants us to push our boundaries and to push past our comfort zone. And so this takes a lot of discernment. So for some people, if this is a new thing for you, you might crash and burn. You might compromise yourself. You might get sick. You might retreat way too far in. You might be like, you might miss an opportunity because you're too scared. So this is like master alchemy energy that's happening this weekend. This is Saturday the 10th, where it's like, can you find the middle ground? Can you, when I used to teach martial arts, guys, I have a weird history with my career. I used to teach martial arts, and when I was teaching, I would always push my students just past their comfort zone. So if I had students that were afraid to spar, I'd put them up against somebody who was just slightly above them, just slightly out of their comfort zone, and be there with them and still like be that Cancerian energy of like holding the container and being like, you're good, you got this, but I want to see you try. And like get hit in the face and see, oh, I'm okay. Like it's not actually that bad. This is up to you ultimately. Like, can you do that for yourself? Can you hold that like line? Can you hold that balance? And you might rock. I'm seeing like a boat rocking like in a storm, and it's like, yeah, you might get rocked. I've been decked in the face before, and you get rocked, and it's not fun, but you make it. So yeah, any questions about this opposition? Again, it's like this push and pull. Oppositions are always fighting for, and it's hard because like all this, there's so much Capricorn energy that it feels like you might push yourself a little bit to that edge of burnout, but it's like, can you retreat enough to like make sure your cup's filled, getting enough sleep, taking those baths, eating nutritious food. I'm hearing like, I'm not a Ayurvedic practitioner, but whatever one is like cooling, like I'm hearing like it might be good to have some like cooling foods during this time. Again, I am not a Ayurvedic practitioner. That's just something that just came through. Now let's go ahead. Kapha. Yeah, Kapha season. Yes. I was like, which one is it? It's definitely not Pitta. That's fire. And then Vata's the like more airy one. Okay. So on the 11th, let's go ahead. Y'all, we're gearing up for a crunchy week of the 12th. I'm not going to lie, because let me adjust this a little bit. Changes to hours. I have the gnarliest headache, you guys. Like, I am not okay. I'm definitely getting sick. Speaking of getting sick, if you guys are getting sick, this guy, amazing. I'm gonna woo. Yep. Okay. We're good. Okay, so I got things set up how I want them. So on Sunday, the 11th, the sun starts making, not the sun, Venus is starting to make this square to Chiron, which means, yes, the sun and Mars will be making that square come Monday, which we'll talk about that next Sunday. So definitely make sure that you've got me on your calendar. I go live every Sunday at 4 p.m. PST talking about all this. And if you can't make them, I re-upload it to YouTube. And then additionally, there's my newsletter where I take all of this, I write it out and send it to your email every Monday morning. Thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate it. So, talk about crunchy as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Chiron just went direct. What was it? That was on the 2nd. Sorry, I'm looking at my giant calendar. And so Chiron's direct now, which means it's sort of like real tangible, feeling the expression of this wound around our identity yet again. Depending on where Aries is within your natal chart, there is this hopefully that's descriptive enough for you guys. But the square to Venus, this is challenging all this Capricorn energy that's being built up. It feels like this. Thanks, Tiff. I feel like I need to turn that down. It's so loud, but I love it so much. So it's almost like I feel like, ooh, this feels like the bridge toll. Like, you know, like how there's like a troll on the bridge that's like, you must pay like a toll to like cross the bridge. Fucking Bay Area yet again. You have to pay all these tolls to go in the goddamn city. But it's like all this Capricorn energy that's been building up. All this stuff of like finding the balance. Chiron comes up and now the square. And I talk about squares. We've had a lot of squares during Sag season. Squares are tension. 90-degree angles. Like the tectonic plates rubbing up against each other, they create waves, they create discomfort, and from that discomfort, something happens. Volcanic eruption, tsunamis, earthquakes, whatever it may be. So we have tension happening with Chiron, all this Capricorn energy that we've been like experiencing and like really like in it. We're like, I'm seeing the like dwarves from Snow White, you know, like whistling while they work. It's like, yeah. And then they get to this bridge and there's like this troll that's like, you got to pay the toll to pass, but it's a riddle. And the riddle's like, who are you? And that's Chiron speaking like, who even are you? And our wound about our identity is coming up. Guys. So this identity wound is surfacing. And it's going to be painful. I'm not going to lie. Squares are fucking uncomfortable. So there's going to be all this Capricorn energy and, oh, fuck. Sorry, I just realized where it's falling in my own personal chart. Fuck. Oh, even though I'm an astrologer, guys, I still get hit with this shit too. So, thought already what peaked. Chiron in Aries. Yo, someone's dad's here. Let's freaking go. The identity thing? No. So Chiron is still in Aries and is going to be in Aries until, what is it? Yeah, June 19th, 2026. Chiron will move into Taurus. Hi, Caths. Hello, brother. So the identity wounds are still present. Thank you. I'm glad you like my live stream. I love doing this. This is my deepest passion. So Chiron's still hanging out here in Aries and we can see it right here. So this is where all this work that we're putting in, and it's kind of like, I'm hearing like the New Year's, slump where it's like, we're getting to this point, like it's later, you know, halfway through the month. And it's like, fuck, what are these goals? Like, who am I to think? Like, it's like all these like limiting beliefs that have been more internal are just coming up external, whether that's when a planet's direct, when it moves direct, it's more external things. And so I could see like people being like, you know, some people saying like, who do you think you are to do this thing? Who are you to be a pop star? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a tangible thing, but it's like maybe you're in your 30s and you're going back to school and there's people saying like, hey, what? Like, you're too old to go back to school. By the way, you're not too old to do anything. But this is where the wounds are coming up. And thanks, Kaths. I appreciate that compliment. So there is that energy. So Chiron's like, you sure about it? You sure you really want to do that? But like, who even are you in this? Like, you think that you can do this. It's kind of just these limiting beliefs that are so deeply ingrained that are still coming up. And so it's like, but we have so much Capricorn energy. There's so much here with Mars, the sun, Venus. And again, like I said, for the week of the 12th, more of this energy is going to come through. So all of this momentum that's been building is going to like be met with this tension. How this, and I feel like giving tangible results of like how this tension comes through. It could be, a parent saying like, you can't do it. Or it might not even be a parent. It might be a friend who says something that you heard in your childhood and it just re-triggers you. And you're like, oh, fuck, like I can't do the thing that I've dreamt of doing. And I feel like a lot of us are really in that dream state right now of like our big desires with all this Capricorn energy. It's again, at the start of this live stream, I said, like, it finally feels like we have so much traction to actually reach our goals, to go for it, to meet our desires. So, this tension is ultimately for your highest good, because it's how can you meet your wound? How can you meet it? And squares, guys, again, are uncomfortable. And so you might be fucking triggered. You might be upset. You might crumble. The foundation might crack. But you have all the tools necessary to refill the crack, to rebuild, to restructure, because these identity wounds that are coming in still are for you to really sit with like, yeah, what is it? Like, what is I really want? Is this really in alignment with like where I want to go? Joseph, how does this work? I'm looking at a snapshot of the sky for December 11th, and we're talking about the different transits that are happening. This is kind of like an energetic weather forecast, to put it simply, by using astrology. And this is where you get your horoscopes from, is astrologers looking at where the planets will be in the future. No, this is January 11th. Did I say December? I keep saying December. I literally almost wrote December in my journal this morning. So if I said December, I meant January. January 11th. You should be able to see the date right down here that I'm talking about. Yeah. My brain. So you don't know how to read it, Joseph? That's okay. That's what an astrologer is here for. That's what I'm doing. I'm reading it for you. I've got 11 years of practice under my belt doing evolutionary astrology. And so that's why I'm here reading it for you. And if you weren't able to make the rest of it, I've been live for about an hour now. I'm going to be re-uploading this to YouTube, and additionally my newsletter, which you can subscribe to through the link in my bio, called Letters from the 8th House. I take everything that I talked about here for this week ahead and I write it out for you guys, because I have a background in teaching, and my deepest desire is that you guys walk away from anything of mine with knowledge gained. Whether some people like reading things, some people are more auditory processors, some people want that tangible hands-on experience, which coming in springtime, classes from moi. So definitely subscribe to my newsletter. Yeah. So, whew. Thanks for the follow, Mondays. Also, I love your username, by the way. So there's a lot of, thanks for the follow, Pellet. There's a lot of very interesting energy happening this upcoming week. Lots of this Capricorn energy is fucking potent. And then ending the week with this square and then starting the following week. And like a part of I like want to just keep talking about it, but we'll be talking about it next Sunday. We'll be diving into that week and diving deeper. So again, just like an energetic recap of everything that's going on for the week. We've got, let me grab my calendar here. On the 6th, the sun is going to be conjunct Venus. On the 7th, Venus will be conjunct Mars. On the 9th, the sun will then conjunct Mars, and then Venus is going to make an opposition to Jupiter. On the 10th, the Sun and then Mars will be opposing Jupiter. And then on the 11th, Venus is going to be squaring Chiron here. So to kind of wrap up all this energy, to kind of like conclude, because all of these are very similar transits, you're going to find that in the coming weeks that the Sun, Mars, and Venus are going to be making a lot of these transits together because they are so close together. And the Sun is this bullseye, Mars is the male symbol, and Venus is the female symbol. And then this little Venus symbol with the ears, that's Mercury. So all of these are going to be working hand in hand. So all this Capricorn energy, guys, I'm hearing like, hold on to your visions, hold on to those goals. And Spirit just showed me a roller coaster. And so there is also this energy of like enjoying the ride, that like there's peaks and valleys, and it's about being in the moment with it, even though I know this Capricorn energy really, really, like I can see that a lot of people really like want to just like run full speed ahead. But this is about like slow discernment, slow discipline. Like, don't burn yourself out too quick. Rachel said, I ordered a book that will help me figure out what house I'm in. You can't wait. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Rachel. And additionally, if you haven't joined my Discord community, come jump on over. We have a lot of conversations about astrology and different things. And for anybody who's never had a natal chart reading, let's take a moment. I have a couple people that are hanging out in the chat who actually have been clients of mine that I've read their charts for. And like, essentially, when I sit and do a natal chart reading for a client, which I will never do them live, I'll let you guys know that, because I go deep. It's why my username here over on TikTok is 8th House Mercury. I dive deep into the subconscious, the unconscious of your chart, and I bring it to light. I talk about your destiny. I talk about where your soul wants to evolve in this life. I talk about what makes you you and what you're here to do, and understanding all of these different parts and pieces. And my readings are so in depth and deeply channeled, and I've been really surrendering into that powerful, powerful energy of source coming through the lens. Thank you, Callie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not about pattern. It's like, and I'm getting chills. Like, it is. Sitting with Callie was so beautiful. Like, I loved, like, when I connect with clients in those like deep wavelengths, it's like, oh yeah, it's one of those moments every time I sit with a client, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I'm here to do. This is exactly my purpose. It's like just being in that channel and being able to articulate these things. And something that's really cool is when I'm reading a chart, I take on that energy and I communicate in the way that actually makes sense to the person, because we have all different Mercury placements. And I look at our Mercury and I'm like, okay, how does this person learn? How do they absorb this information? So it's highly tailored to the individual. So if you guys haven't yet gotten a reading, definitely let's do it. I would love the honor to read your guys' chart. It's like, it's my favorite thing. But I also know that a lot of people want to learn, how do we do this? How do I read what is on the screen here? How do you read this? And coming springtime, guys, for those of you who don't know, I have a background in education. I feel like I've repeated that a whole bunch. But it's like, I love teaching this stuff, and I love making sure that everybody leaves with information and knowledge. Yeah, man, this week is going to be very interesting.